I'm Vin.
I'm Sori.
And this is While Heaven Wept from, okay, the name of the band, I think, is The Furthest Shore. The name of the song is While Heaven Wept. Is that right? No. The name of the band,
the opposite.
The name of the band is While Heaven Wept, and the name of the song is To the Furthest Shore. Right. And this is who is this brought to us by?
This is for the Epic Underground.
Shout out to the Epic Underground, led by the big homie Julie Gary, who's actually in the chat right now.
Yes, he is.
Because we're doing kind of like a live watch along. So it's behind the scenes, things of that nature. It's completely free. Just come on. We're trying to give 2-hour notice and eventually like a 1 day or maybe even a 2-day notice. And it's something we've been doing for a while. Who knows? But if you now listener would like to join an alliance, the process is very simple. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. And then you're able to join an alliance like Drew's amazing alliance. Drew's a really good alliance leader. And you pull your points together, and that determines what song we do. Or you can be like filthy capitalists like Sori. 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You get to hop, skip, jump in front of everybody. You do that 3 times, you get reduced to the $75 rate for all perpetuity.
There you go.
Unless we make you lower. So there's that. So there's multiple ways to get your song reviewed. So this is a very interesting song because it's 15 and a half minutes. So just sit back and relax. With that.
And if anyone enters the chat and doesn't know what we're doing, please inform them.
Right.
Are they just sitting there with headphones on?
Yeah. Please inform them if you're in the chat. All right.
Okay, ready?
Having said that, let's go. Okay, this song starts out heavy. It's not what I thought it was going to be for this song. This is how I thought it was going to start. They kind of flipped it. And I'm going to steal shamelessly from that. Yes, Dethroner. It sounds like Pink Floyd part right here.
By God and man, visions of passion, glory and gold, beckon from distant lands. I left behind all I had known, aspiring to live, love and conquer, unaware that these kicked out suits would only yield a drifting sepulchre.
16 minutes feels like 3, even with all your stupid interruptions.
Okay, we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Had a real world situation to take care of, but holy moly, this is a 16-minute song. You say it sounded like a 3-minute song.
Yeah,
like
it was so good. I was like, you know what? I'm going. I'm just gonna take the ride.
It's strange to me because this is the first song on the record.
It's a very good ride.
So the name of the record is Vast Oceans Lachrymose, and there's only 5 songs on it, which makes sense if you're doing 16-minute songs. But this song to me is like the perfect way to end a record, especially like toward the end, the last minute and a half. That major chords and it's like very inspiring. You know, different style than Iron Maiden, but still makes me want to run a couple miles. And shout out to Seven Dusted, by the way.
Oh, it made you feel like running. Interesting.
Like running extra miles and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So this is the first song on the record actually, but it sounds like it should be the outro for the last song on the record. Like like a big giant concept album, and then you get to the end of it, you're like, yes. So that I thought was really interesting because I'm like, this last song, Vast Oceans Lachrymose, that better be the most epic outro of all time. Holy moly. Because it's got to have to
beat. It has to beat that one.
Yeah, it's got to beat that one. And I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it. So, like, that was the first thing I noticed. I'm like, man, this sounds like a cool way to like end the record. And it turns out it's the first song. That was the first thing that I noticed. The second thing I noticed is I thought, because usually when these songs are like really long, you're gonna get like a slow build up. Some rising
this
action.
Started out hard off, and then it kind of like took you down. I was like, what? Where's it going?
Right. So sonically, I was like, okay, of course.
Have you ever been on a water slide?
The
feeling when you like go up around the edge, like, and you're going around the corner. You don't know that feeling? You've never been on a water slide?
Well, yeah, I think I've been. I mean, I was in Orlando when I was a kid. But go ahead. Continue.
Yeah. The feeling that you get when you're like slipping around and going up on the side, like that was kind of like how the song made me feel.
And then they had that like palm mute tremolo thing going on, which sounds really ridiculously cool. And I said to myself, see, this is one of the things I like about these like, I don't know if these guys are obscure, maybe they're like huge somewhere, but what I like is you get to steal these cool ideas. People have no idea where you got them from.
Oh my gosh, that's so terrible.
What do you mean?
Steal their ideas.
I mean, it's
progressive power doom metal. Oh no, that's not it. That was their second choice.
Well, it's got to be like a certain type of whatever you call it. Look at it. Okay, so that's what I liked about the song. Sonically, it was crazy, and I do think there's a lot of times when like a song is like 11, 12 minutes long, and I'm like, you can just tell they all sat down at practice one day like, let's do an 11-minute song because we're proud geniuses or whatever. Like, I felt like this song actually necessitated the 16 minutes that it actually took to
see.
The
thing when you see a 16-minute song, you're like, ooh, yay. And I'm not. I'm like, really? Like a 16-minute song? Like how? Please, that can't be real. So you have to win me over when the song starts, because I'm not in a neutral place like I am with most other songs. So this one had to bring me from lots of negativity. Watch the live stream if you want to know what that was all about. And then it had like all those stops, and then it I don't know, it was really good. It brought me in, and I felt like it was a 3-minute song. So I'm definitely a fan of it.
Yeah. I felt like halfway through the song, I said to myself, I said, this is going to be one of those ones where we're just going to have to park it and throw away the reaction and then do it again. And it doesn't happen a lot, but there's just times when I'm like, okay, we just have to land this plane and live to fight another day. And we were coming precariously close to that moment, but you pulled out of it. You pulled out.
You know what I was going to do? I was going to unplug the side, so I was just going to play out loud after you had silenced it. But I was enjoying the headphones too much.
Oh, you were enjoying the headphones.
I didn't want to tell you that.
Oh.
Yes, but I was enjoying the headphones immensely.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was really good. What were the lyrics, though? I have no idea. Like, not even a single clue. If somebody said, we're going to chop you up into 4 million pieces if you can't tell us what this... I wouldn't they'd
have to chop you up.
They'd have to chop me up because I literally have no clue what it's about.
So
I would take a guess. I would say it's the people are journeying from this world to the next. That's what I got from it.
It actually made me think of FX in the chat, because FX is saying something kind of similar. But
oh yeah.
So lyrically, the guy is saying, "So long ago I set out to sea, forsaken by God and man. Visions of passion, glory, and gold beckoned from distant land. I left behind all I had known, aspiring to live, love, and conquer, unaware that these futile pursuits would only yield a drifting sepulcher." So like he's leaving the life he knows behind for fame and fortune, which is kind of interesting considering some decisions that were made earlier this week.
Mm-hmm.
But it didn't turn out well for the homie.
Well, he went alone. That's why he probably went alone.
Right. Desperate, I have traveled the seas of sorrow, aimlessly drifting for many a year, cursing this fated endeavor. That reminds me of Dorian. He'd say some shit like that. Hopeless. I accept that the solace I've sought will elude me forever. Straining against the maelstrom unbound, my limbs frailed and broken, splintered apart after shit, man.
You kind of got like that at one point. You accepted that solace that you had sought will elude me forever. Like, I feel like that you hit that point.
I did, yeah, for sure. Yeah, and I you used to say, because I just came to the conclusion, I said, some people aren't meant to be happy.
You say that all the time.
And
you don't say it anymore.
No, I don't. Well, I might start saying it again if you keep up the act that you brought up to our friends in the chat. Those poor people, they got to observe you in all your crazy.
People like
if you want to know what we're referring to, dear listener, you can check out the live stream version of this thing. But anyway, you're watching a highly edited video. But to the people that were there, words cannot describe.
Oh my gosh. The anger.
But yeah, so, I had come to the conclusion. I was like, all right, bro, you're never going to be happy. Lost a couple family members. And then, the marriage thing was it became clear to me that Shorty was about to peace out. And I was just like, man, I was just looking at the losses that I'd had. And then I'd think to myself, like, I'd be on the plane going to some trip to some horrible whatever, and I'd be like relieved. And I'd be like, I'm not supposed to be relieved. Like, I'm supposed to be very anxious and tense right now. This is terrible. I'm going, whatever. And I was actually like relieved to be away from the people back home. So I was like, this is a bad situation. So yeah, man, I definitely could relate to that. But see, you used to always look at it like, oh, you always feel bad for, poor Vincent. To me, it was something that gave me peace. Like when I finally said, like,
well, yeah, I can understand that now. Actually,
like, it's just over. It's just not going to happen for you. Like, you just and when I began to embrace that, I actually had a lot more peace and a lot less anxiety about life.
Yeah, expectations can be a real point of frustration. Like, if you expect something or you're hopeful for something and it's never going to happen, then. But I guess if you abandon it, that sounds like such horrible advice.
What do you mean?
What do you mean? What do I mean? It's what I just said is what I mean.
What do you mean?
If you have, like, expectations and having a hope about something, that something is going to get better, or an expectation about something is what makes you so miserable when it doesn't happen. But if you just accept the loss and you say this is how it's going to be and it'll always be, then I can see how you could find a measure of peace in that.
Right.
But it really sounds like terrible advice. Don't worry, guys. All your misery, just accept it and just accept it as your own, and you will find peace in that. Don't seek for happiness.
This is a little like, like when I talked to, Peter or whatever.
It sounded like such Buddhism. A powerful song, but this advice is
well, no, I'm not giving it an advice. I'm talking about my experience with the, relating to the song. What's wrong with you?
Don't take his advice.
When did I say, like, this is advice, you should follow it, abandon all hope, all you went to? Like, I never said that. All I was telling the people was how
it brought you peace.
Yeah, it brought me peace. I'm not telling you, go ahead. If you're married to somebody with borderline personality disorder, go for it. If you think that
keep hope alive,
you think that you're going to be happy and she's going to change next year, go for it. I was just talking to another close friend of mine from the channel, and he was in the same situation with the same type of individual, and they had been going.
Are there a lot of similarities?
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm not going to mention it because it's it's actually one of my real homies from the channel. But we were talking last night, this morning, whatever. And he had, terrible things had happened. And just like he went back, tried to make it work. They got kids, whole 9 yards. But, he couldn't do it. Like she was just impossible. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so like, sometimes you just have to, it's tough stuff. But to me, like holding on to this, we're going to be happy in a month or whatever, like it just wasn't working.
Well, you did it for long enough.
Right. Just the utility of, because there's this book written by this coach one time. It's called The Power of Negative Thinking. Mm-hmm. And it was actually a groundbreaking book to me, because he was basically like, people always come with this like faux positivity, like, hey, we're gonna make it work. And he's like, look, if you didn't get the result, obviously the context is, sports, basketball, whatever. If you didn't get the result that you got last year, mm-hmm. then negative things happen. So you've got to figure out those negative things and deal with them. All this rah positivity stuff is not going to solve the problem. So he wrote this song, this book, The Power of Negative Thinking. Did I agree with everything in the book? No, but I am a big believer in like being realistic and having realistic goals and expectations about, stuff. Mm-hmm. So, so when this guy's talking about it, he's like, look, he shot his shot, right? He went for it, and then things didn't turn out the way he wanted them to turn out. Tortured memories of sailing and searching, finding and failing. That's a good line. Eroding the will to further resist a wave's violent churning. Bereft of strength, I've lost hold of the dream, now sinking in sorrow, falling helpless to the waters raging below. For a fleeting moment, I clutched the debris of my vessel, now flotsam, a futile attempt of an overcome man to fend off the ocean. I know it is hopeless when I see the approach of the conquering wave that has come to carry me to my watery grave. Hello, washed ashore, succumb to the sea, the waves force upward my lifeless eyes to watch the sun set for the last time. Only in death would peace be mine. Dun, dun, dun.
Okay, so they wouldn't have chopped me up, because I basically kind of had it. That's close enough, right?
No, you kind of had
a journey crossing over to the other side. He was dying.
Well, yeah. Well, his journey is.
Are they going to kill me? Yes or no?
No, I don't think people can. Well, if they try to kill you, they probably God would protect you. The means of grace, but like he. It's one of the things as a parent that's really, I don't want to say I worry about it, but I've already had my, time out to sea basically, and whatever, and mm-hmm. gone through whatever, and now we're in a pretty good place, in my opinion anyway. I don't know, after you guys see a live stream, you might think different, but as a parent, there's so many things where I'm like, you know what? My kids don't have to go through X, Y, and Z thing I went through. Mm-hmm. They don't. If they listen to wisdom, they can live a pretty decent life. Mm-hmm. And I feel like a couple of them are gonna action that, and then we've got other ones that they're bound and determined. They have to get shipwrecked themselves. They just have to do it. And
you see multiple ones like that?
Yeah. So it's like
the two that are alike each other?
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
Gosh.
So
you're probably right. Holy moly.
That's the thing that sucks as a parent, is like you're seeing your kid like walk into this, and I'm not talking about anything like, oh, my kid's gonna be a serial killer. I'm not talking
no.
I'm just talking about things where it's like
decisions that kids make because they can't learn from the experiences of their parents. They have to learn for themselves.
Right, and certain principles, principles where it's like this is going to happen, but it's ridiculous that it's going to happen because it doesn't.
It was preventable.
It's preventable, and I know that for a fact because my older brother was like that. Mm-hmm. He avoided so much shit.
Yeah, but there are just some personalities, babe, that. Like, there was plenty of wisdom I got from my parents, and there was some wisdom I was like, I am not going to take that wisdom. I'm going to find out for myself.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I know.
I mean, I'm sure you did that I'm sure you didn't follow
Well, I didn't have any of that type of guidance. Like my older brother was the guidance, you know what I'm saying? But I never had like a parent like sitting me down and saying, look, as a man, here's how you're supposed to navigate yourself.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, here's how to do this. Like I looked at one piece of advice that I got, you know, don't get anybody pregnant. Thanks. I'll take that sage wisdom. You know, before I heard that, I was like, let me get as many girls pregnant as possible at 14 years old. Yeah. Yeah. Like, what the hell type of advice was that, bro? That wasn't my brother, by the way.
No.
That was the thing. My older brother never talked to me about sex ever. You know, like, so, you know. And then I came into high school and it was like, holy shit, there's like 5,000 people here. You know, and you know, whatever. I was like, whoa, like, you know what I'm saying? There's not a lot of guidance to us. So, you know,
I tell him he was saying, oh, I forgot we can't engage too much with the comments.
Somebody in the chat said I was a handsome kid.
He must have been a handsome kid.
I wasn't a handsome kid at school, but I was very good with words. Very, very good with words. And apparently girls like that when you're good with words. My point is, like, I didn't have anybody to really like stop me from like running into these, you know, pitfalls and whatever that happens to you. You know what I'm saying? So some of the stuff was
start using the words to make me happy.
Because like my older brother, like he went through school, not one conflict, not one altercation. Yeah. Nobody pulled anything on him. But at the same time, he never talked to anybody. He stayed to himself. No girls, nothing. And me, I was like, whoa. You know, there's a lot of girls here. So, you know, like he never sat me down and said, look, this, but to be honest with you, I'm not blaming him because
you wouldn't have listened.
I would not have listened to him because I thought he was a square. I thought he was corny. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But he never got in any altercations. His life was never in danger. Mm-hmm. He never took any weapons to school. Nobody put any weapons on him. He was smart as hell. Mm-hmm. But, you know, when you're, you know, 13, 14, like, you know, you think you know everything. So I got one person that's like, give me the guidance.
But whenever you talk about it, you never sound like you have any regrets about it. It always sounds like you're like, where party at? And it always makes me feel like, shoot, I shouldn't have listened to all those rules. I should have done a lot more things that I shouldn't have done.
I'm saying that now because there's some distance between me and the situation. You know what I'm saying? So, and I made it out.
Yeah.
So now I can say it like that. But at the time, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was not fun. It wasn't fun. Yeah, I was in English class. We're sitting there talking about my Angelou, and dude comes in. I'll never forget. He came into class. He's like, "We're gonna kill you today. We're gonna kill you." And then Odette was sitting there, and she was like horrified. Everybody was horrified. I was like, "What's good, nigga?" Blah 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 blah. And the teacher just stood there. It was like staring straight, like he didn't hear this dude just threaten my life. Like, trust me, I had science the next period. Like, I was not in a good, like, you wouldn't have come to me and said, oh yeah, that guy, like, where the party at? It wasn't like that. No, I was scared to death. I was scared, I was stressed out, and I was angry, and I was getting my mind all in this because, you know, whatever. So yeah, now when I'm talking about it, I've safely come to the other side. Sure, I can look back at it now and say, hey, I was stupid. But at the time, man, that shit was stressful. And I was certain at some points that I was like, I'm not going to make it out of here. You know what I mean? But, you know, by God's grace, I made it out of there. But, you know, it was not fun. But, like, when I look at the kids, there's a couple of them that are like, yes, give me the guidance, tell me, you know, whatever, like, give me the hack. And then there's other ones where it's just like, sometimes it's like he filters it through his, you know, if it makes sense to him, he'll go along with it. If it doesn't, he'll just say it's bullshit. And then, like, he's got all this confidence that his perspective is right, even though he's got no experience whatsoever in any of the things that he's talking about, but he's damn sure. But I remember one time my mom, because she was doing it, like, I had hit an age, it was kind of right around high school, where it was just obvious she couldn't control me anymore, and she couldn't, And I mean in the positive way that a parent's supposed to have some sort of control over their child. Like
influence.
She just couldn't. She couldn't anymore. Mm-hmm. And, you know, she had to work, so it's not like she could keep me in the house. Like, and I was intolerable. Can you imagine me at 14, 15? I was intolerable. She wanted me out of the house anyway. So, you know, I remember one time, like, she would do these little things to try to reach out. So she gave me this book, Robinson Crusoe. So Robinson Crusoe is this Christian guy, and I don't know, maybe this song,
about that.
This song is probably about Robinson Crusoe.
Yeah, didn't he have his whole family there?
No. He was a Christian. His dad was a Christian or whatever, and then he basically said, "Screw you, Dad." It was like a prodigal son story. And then he dies he was supposed to die in this shipwreck, and then he ended up on the island. And then he's got a man named Friday, and it's this Negro guy. He's like, "I have a man." That's what he used to call him. My man, Friday, and he never knew the guy's name, so he just, you know.
And what did that Friday just serve him?
Well, because Friday just went along and played his position. Good old Robinson Crusoe. So yeah, it kind of has that thing, but you know, that's kind of like a thing where I don't believe that kids have to go out and like wreck their lives to know that the wisdom their parents were giving them was accurate. But there are some that are like that. There are some kids that are like that. And there's nothing
terrible.
There's nothing that's going to change about that. Mm-hmm. It's just the way it is. It's the nature of the beast, and that's why, you know, the whole prodigal son story is one of the greatest stories of all time, because it gives parents and kids a lot of hope that, hey, your kids can figure it out if they don't die. But if you look at Chicago, or you look at some of the friends that we had, like, they didn't figure it out. They died.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm coming from. So the kids are like, yo, why are you overreacting? Blah, blah, blah. Especially one of them, you know, he just doesn't see it because he's lived in this nice sheltered environment, and he thinks that the way the world he's experienced it is actually how the world works.
I know. It's so funny sometimes. It's hilarious to see the way he looks at you. It's I'm like, right now he doesn't believe you. He thinks you don't know what you're talking about.
And it's like, what the hell do you know about?
Yeah, but the weird thing is that he experienced racism when he was at his job, but he still doesn't really think that it's a thing.
Well, I don't really think that he believes that. I just think that
he wants a world.
He wants world where Ben Shapiro is right.
Yeah.
And who doesn't? But that's a separate topic. I'm not even talking about racism. I'm just talking about just general survival in the world, and like the way that he is just ugh. Mm-hmm. He's gonna get eaten alive out there, because he doesn't have an understanding as to how ruthless people are.
Right.
And you know, that's one of the things where, you know, I'm glad for all the struggle and things like that, because it acclimated me very quickly to how ruthless the world was. But you know.
Yeah, but he has, you know how there's like he doesn't have a problem with doing what you have to do to climb the corporate ladder. You know what I'm saying? Like, try not to say too much while saying what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, and the other thing about that is when you live that type of lifestyle or you're around lots of people that are like that or around the world, I think that after a while, it makes you feel like tired or like sick, like, wow, like it's just, there's no positivity in that. You know what I mean? Like the dog eat dog world, like, that's how it is. Oh, yeah. But nobody wants to live in that constantly. That is not the type of environment that you want to create for yourself to live day in, day out of.
No, I agree. I agree with that. For sure. What do you get the song?
It was an 11 because it took me someplace. So going with an 11.
I'm going to give it a 9.75. I'm I'm not going to listen to anything from this band. Maybe they'll come back, but I'd be very, very interested to hear what that last song sounds like.
Oh yeah,
because I'm like they got to do something mega epic to top that outro and just the way that the song was. So we shall see. We shall see.
Oh, well, there you have it.
So there you are, dear listener. 2 hour and 5 minute 59 second review. Vin out.
Sori out.
Gone.
Hey Villagers, this is Archero, and I'm inviting you to the Village March Madness Tournament. We're doing this as a fundraiser and to get together as a community and have a little bit of fun. If you're not familiar with March Madness, it is a 64-team college basketball tournament. The teams all play in single elimination round tournament style. Final winner is going to be the national champion. There's going to be a page set up on the ESPN website where you can make your guesses who's going to win each game. And we'll have a private group set up just for our village to compete against each other and see who predicted the winners best. To participate, it only costs $1. And all of that is going to go to help other villagers who are in need right now. This is all going to be happening in mid-March. More details are coming very soon about the dates, prizes, and how to join. I'll see you guys there. Keep it metal.